Here's the issue. Follow me. I didn't want to have to do that, but the weeds were a problem. That would be my luck. So it's not a big deal. That kind of sucked. I'll come back to you guys when I figured out what I'm doing. All right, so here's what we got going on. It was exactly like what I said. We need another 6-foot roll there, another 3-foot roll. Here's going to be our open bed right here for carrots, potatoes, and stuff. This last row is going to be for shade tolerant stuff like lettuce, broccoli, cauliflower. This last row I already did. I'm gonna just flip that over. That way I don't have one sheet of plastic that has exposed edges like that on both sides. That way each sheet only has one side that's stapled above ground. That's what we got going on. I'll come back to you guys when it's done. So, that would be my luck. So I've got this all done, this side all done, and where they meet in the middle, it's just like a couple inches of a gap. So what I may have to do to remedy that is just overlay another 3-foot section here, right between them both. I was thinking about doing that anyway though, so that all of the spacing lines all line up anyway, so it's not a big deal, but that kind of sucks. I've got plenty of geotextile left over, so it's not like I need to get more or anything. I mean, I probably got another 900 feet of this stuff, so not a big deal. I'll come back to you guys when I figured out what I'm doing. All right, y'all, I almost got done with this thing today already. Show y'all what's going on. So I ended up with a little gap between these two. Okay, I don't want that gap, so what I'm gonna end up doing, it's gonna be a lot more work, but I'm not putting all this work into this garden just for there to be, you know, a bunch of weeds in it. So I'm gonna pull up these 2 3-foot sections, and I'm just gonna lay down another 6-foot section. I didn't want to have to do that, but I want it to be nice. I don't want a bunch of weeds in here. That's the whole reason why I'm doing all this. I got sick of all the weeds last year. It was insane. The weeds were a problem, all right? So, you know, well, I'm gonna pull up these last 2 sections. I'm gonna try to get this done today. I'm over this plastic stuff, at least in the big garden. So we'll get these pulled up. I'll put the 6-foot section in. Miss Mia is gonna get some footage of that. And then hopefully we'll be done with covering the big garden, and we can move on to other things like getting some T-posts in the ground in here, and maybe pulling some welded wire fence.
I have a question.
Yeah, what's your question there, Miss Mia?
What's a T-post?
T-post, you know, the green post that we used to build the chicken run?
Yes.
That's a T-post. Okay. It's people use them for all different sorts of things. Basically just a cheap post you drive into the ground with the driver, and yeah, you can attach fence to it, you can attach all kinds of stuff to it. I'm gonna use it for trellises. Okay, so I'm gonna put...
Are you shivering?
A little bit. It's a little chilly out here.
Don't let that sun deceive you. It's freezing out here.
Cold. Hey, but I'm in shorts though. T-post, we're gonna drive the T-post into the ground, and we're gonna run some welded wire fence between them, and we're gonna use that for trellising for things like peas, maybe some other stuff that vines, stuff like tomatoes and peppers. I'm gonna put T-posts in the ground, and I'm just gonna do a Florida weave. That's how we're gonna trellis a lot of this stuff in this garden. I do have a bunch of tomato cages. I'd rather get away from the cages and find a different system of trellising all this stuff and supporting it. So that's the plan. We'll get this plastic pulled up. It's gonna be a lot of pins. It's gonna take me a minute, but I think it'll be worth it. I don't want the gap between the sheets. Haven't noticed already, I'm putting these staples about every 2 paces, you know, about 2 strides. I don't think it really matters. I mean, if you want to go overkill with it, go right ahead. Some people don't want to put as many holes into plastic because they reuse it a little more, but just make sure that it gets stuck to the ground. Pretty much that's the name of the game. There's 50 different people that say you do it 50 different ways, and really it's just whatever works. So this is, in case I haven't gone any detail over this, I believe it's 3.2 mil woven geotextile. A lot of people like the non-woven stuff. I'm not doing that. It kind of disintegrates and falls apart over time. This stuff holds together a little better. Water does go through it. It is permeable. Say it's like really downpouring. It takes a minute for the water to get through if you got a lot of water landing on it, but that's fine. It'll just run off to the edges, or it'll pool up, and as the wind agitates the fabric, it'll all go through. I'm not affiliated with them, but this is Vivor. I think it's Vivor brand, right?
I don't
Do you remember?
have a clue.
I think it's Vivor. It's Vivor 3.2 mil woven geotextile fabric. I got plenty of it. We'll put it that way. I just ordered a bunch because there's a whole bunch of different projects I'm going to use it for. The gardens, maybe some landscaping. We'll see if I can get away with just mulching it. But the weeds out in the country are crazy, man. Y'all already know. If you live out in a rural area, you guys already know. There's some weeds out here they ain't got up on the block. Man, in town, they really don't.
In the wind.
Oh, yeah. Look at frolic through it. And FYI, too, I know a lot of the videos we made so far is just us messing around, really. We're learning how to make videos. We started off with her phone camera. I realized quickly that wasn't going to cut it. So to get a little better quality videos, I went out and I got myself a nicer camera setup. I went with GoPro. So far, it's a great camera. I like it. It seems to be working out well. What do you think, Miss Mia? I have no thoughts. She has no thoughts once again. I know there's some of you are already subscribing. We really appreciate it. We're gonna be having a lot more content as the year goes on. Right now, all we're doing is just prepping really for the year. It's still pretty cold a lot of days around here, but once it picks up and things start growing, we'll have a lot of stuff to film, a lot of stuff to show you guys. We're gonna start trying to do, as the year goes on, we're gonna get better at organizing our videos, trying to make them a little less all over the place, you know, because like I said, right now we're just having fun with it, you know what I mean? We're learning, we're just going out there shooting whatever we're doing, we're walking around.
Get the producer on here.
Oh, you want some airtime?
Just for a minute.
She wants some airtime. Hold up, yo.
All right, listen.
You look crazy right now.
It's the wind. We'll blame the wind.
Right.
I'm the producer, I'm the editor, I'm the COO
She a media manager
of the Bird's Nest Homestead. I'm learning too.
I'm just the entertainment factor. She doing all the real work behind the scenes. I make all the big decisions. I'm the big idea guy. I put a lot of the sweat equity into stuff. But she's the micromanager. She's the one behind the scenes editing all this stuff, learn how to do all this. That's not my gig, it's hers.
If you see any videos that you really enjoy, comment below and let me know, and I'll try to put out more of that style, that kind of content that you guys are enjoying. I'm learning how to garden. He's the expert.
Yeah, she's still learning. And yes, by the way, she is that short. I know a lot of y'all probably like, Dang, she looks so short on camera. She like 4'9".
I'm 4'11".
On a good day. Yeah, she 4'11", so she's a little bitty thing, but I gotta do like a downward angle at her to get her on camera.
Okay, that's enough airtime for me.
We'll continue on with this. She's a little more shy, so we'll keep working. I'm gonna get this 6 foot down. I might dig this trench out a little more, make it look a little nicer. So action shot. Action shot. Ah! Hit him with it. Oh shoot, I'm tripping. Literally. No pun intended. Oh, look at this little grub. Look at that bad boy. That's some soil right there, y'all. Somebody got to do it, man. The Fortnite kids ain't doing it. You know what I'm saying? We got to hold it down for them city folks somehow. Them farmers markets don't fill themselves. We ain't got big equipment. Just me. It's just me, man. I am the equipment. You know what I'm saying? Some people be like, you know, they be like, oh, Kel the L, don't you think that garden a little too big? You got 2 other gardens already. That's a lot of work. Hey man, somebody got to do it, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't come from a bunch of money. I'm just out here with a shovel. You know what I'm saying? You know anybody with a free tractor, let me know. So far I ain't met one. You know, this equipment expensive. Sometimes you just got to get out there and get it. You know, that's all right. All right, little tip for you guys. If you guys are fighting the wind as much as I do with this stuff, I'll go to the end of the plastic that the wind is coming from, right? Once I get my first side down, go to the side the wind is coming from, so you don't have to fight the wind with the plastic the whole way down. And now I've got my 2 corners. I've got my 2 corners and a couple middle staples in there. Now I'm working this side down and I gotta pull it tight. So what I'm gonna do, since I don't have some sort of fancy thing to pull this all tight at once, and it's too windy for that anyway. The wind gets up under it. I'm gonna grab my plastic and I'm gonna pull that way and I'm gonna pull towards me at the same time. And then once I've got that sort of tight, I'll take my staple and I'll stick it in. All right, now, is that the tightest thing in the world? No, it's not, but it'll be totally fine. Considering the length that I'm dealing with, you're gonna have to stretch this and tighten it up in sections if you're doing all this by hand like me and you don't have some big fancy tractor with a spool on it and all of that buries it for you and all of that. I don't have any of that, so I'm having to do all this by hand. This is the method that I've been using and it's working out well for me so far. I'm not trying to get this super tight because these staples are metal, and if you pull this super tight and you're walking around on it, you're liable to rip the plastic off the staples. Okay, so I do want a little bit of slack in it, but I want it tight enough that the wind's not going to get under it on all the folds and it's not going to come up under the plastic and pull the plastic up. So you got to kind of find a balance. I don't want it too loose, I don't want it too tight. So this is what I'm doing so far. This is working out fine. Another thing, another tip for this, if you're using the same type of plastic I am, it's woven and the edges will come apart pretty easily. If you just have it single ply like this and you're driving a staple in the edge, it's liable to come undone. So what you need to do is fold this over a little bit, just like that, just an inch or two, and you're gonna pull this tight and you're gonna drive your staple in like that. Don't just have it like this, especially if it's above ground and it's exposed to the wind. That edge of that plastic will unravel and come apart, and you don't want that. It'll be a big old mess.
What a mess.
What a mess! So, just get you a little inch or two. Stick your staple through both of the layers, and it'll hold it together a lot better. All right, we're almost done. Finished product here. We have a raised row over here. It's going to be for probably a lot of root vegetables. Single stem plants, basically plants that are going to be on their own. And we're going to use it's like a propane torch used for weeds or stuff like that, but we're going to use it to I'll probably put a little tin can or something on the end of it, heat the tin can up, and then we'll just punch holes in this plastic. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Of course, we'll make a video when we're doing all of that. Every step of this process, we'll be making videos for you guys. So if you guys are about to buy an acre, 2-3 acres of land, and you want to put a big garden in like us and start growing some of your own food like we do, you guys can follow along the whole thing. I've noticed there are a lot of channels that do a lot of how-to videos, and they do a lot of tip videos. They already have an established homestead, right? And we don't have a totally established homestead. We're still building a lot of the infrastructure from the ground up, and you guys will get to follow along the whole process. Everything we do on this property we'll record and make videos out of. So if you want things explained in layman's terms, and you want a step-by-step process about how these things are done, or at least how I do them, follow along, subscribe, hit the like button. We'll have tons of stuff to show you guys, and maybe some of you guys can go out and try some of it yourselves. So don't let anybody tell you you can't do some of this stuff or you need a bunch of experience. You don't. 50 people will tell you 50 different ways how to do something, but ultimately you just have to get out there and do it yourself, and you'll figure out how to do it your own way, and that's fine. As long as the plants get in the ground, as long as the weeds are managed, stuff grows, you know.
You'd be surprised.
You'd be surprised. You could come out here and till you up a patch of dirt and just throw the seeds out there, and some of them are gonna grow. So it's not that complicated. It's not that hard. It's just a lot of hard work. It's a lot of, especially if you don't have equipment or machinery. It's just me, you know. Got little 4'7" Miss Mia over here, you know, she does her best, all right, but she ain't exactly, you know, built for a lot of hard work like that. She does try though. She's a hard worker. She's just not, you know, super big. So I'm doing a lot of this stuff on my own. She helps me along the way. That's like I tell her, if you've got a girlfriend or you got a wife that's willing to help you, if they can do 20% while you're doing 80%, that's a huge help for a lot of us guys. That whoever, you know, your buddy from work that you're a little bit too close to, you know, if you can get him over here and he does, you have somebody else doing 20% while you do 80, it helps out a lot. You can get a lot more done over time. So we'll get this tied in, and that'll be it for now. We'll catch back up with you guys.